Chapter 116. The Assassins Arrive. This chapter is updated by Novels.pl. Juan Mook Singerling calmed her anger and said glumly, "The quarterly assessment is 2 months away. It has 2 rounds. Round 1 is the freshman's tournament held by the 4 external houses. Round 2 is the ranking evaluation inside Western Campus. Are you confident?" "Confident about what?" Jang Yuochen asked. Juan Mook Singerling said, "As the number 1 freshman on the Western Campus, it's your responsibility to fight for the honor of Western Campus. If you can lead our freshmen to beat the other 3 campuses at the tournament, you will for sure get lots of merits as a reward." Huang Yanshen's cold voice came from outside the door. "Although you're the most talented freshman on the Western Campus, your practical ability is not the best. Not to mention that there are countless geniuses in the other 3 campuses. It's not easy for you to become number 1 of all 4 campuses." Jang Yuochen and Juan Mook Singerling both stared with surprise at Huang Yanshen as she was walking in. Juan Mook Singerling asked, "Sister Chen, why did you come here?" Huang Yanshen did not seem happy now. She said, "I went to Yellow Number 1 to visit Jang Yuochen, but he wasn't there. I guessed that he must be in your room." Singerling, "I didn't expect that you would fall for this pervert." "I didn't." "Sister Chen, you must listen," Juan Mook Singerling said. "Say no more." Huang Yanshen stared at Jang Yuochen, took out a tiny jade jar, passed it to him, and said, "Pervert, this is 1 drop of half-saint's essence. I'd like to trade it with you for a space treasure." Jang Yuochen looked at the tiny jar, then turned his eyes to Huang Yanshen. Dissatisfied with her attitude, he frowned and shook his head. "Sorry, Deputy Yardmaster King, who has already promised to apply for 10 drops of half-saint liquid for me. I'm not short of it now." In fact, Jang Yuochen felt quite guilty about what he had done to Huang Yanshen. He had even planned to give her a space treasure, but due to her current attitude, he had second thoughts. Huang Yanshen widened her royal blue eyes, seeming very cold. "Juan Mook Singerling can trade you 1 drop of half-saint liquid for a jade space bracelet, but I can't." "It seems that she is much closer to you." "That's fine. Name your price." Juan Mook Singerling was afraid that Huang Yanshen would misunderstand, so she kept winking at Jang Yuochen. But Jang Yuochen pretended that he did not see anything and said, 5 million silver coins, no less. Hearing Jang Yuochen's words, Huang Yanshen drew her sword and directly pointed it at Jang Yuochen's neck and said, "Say it again." Jang Yuochen ignored the insistent sword, stared into Huang Yanshen's eyes, and said mildly, 5 million silver coins, no less. Huang Yanshen had a fierce temper, which was triggered by Jang Yuochen's words. She said, "I finally realize why Juan Mook Singerling interfered with me when I planned to harm you. You 2 have colluded for a long time. In that case, why should I spare you? Today, I will make you pay the price for what you did that night. You will be a eunuch from now on." Originally, Huang Yanshen had planned to visit Jang Yuochen and trade a space treasure with him. She had even intended to repair their relationship. But, when she found out that Jang Yuochen stayed with her best friend, she was outraged and felt betrayed. Clash. Huang Yanshen turned her hand to cleave Jang Yuochen with her sword, aiming at his penis. Jang Yuochen was shocked by the feeling of a chill passing over the lower part of his body. He stepped backward immediately and narrowly escaped from Huang Yanshen's attack. Huang Yanshen was really not letting this go. She gathered the sword breath and thrust at him again. Boom. Juan Mook Singerling also took out her sword and waved backhanded to counter Huang Yanshen's movement, saying, "Sister Chen, calm down. Please listen." Seeing that Juan Mook Singerling had made a move, Huang Yanshen became even angrier. Her endless movements were as fast as the wind, forming a huge sword breath vortex. "Juan Mook Singerling, we've never battled it out. Today, let's find out who's stronger." With her long hair flying and her robe waving, in just a few moves of her sword, Huang Yanshen gracefully drew Juan Mook Singerling into her sword breath vortex. Boom. 2 flows of strong sword breath crashed together, causing a huge hole in the roof, whereas stones continually fell down from. The 2 girls rushed up and out through the hole, flying over the eaves and running on the walls, making the tiles clang. The sound of the battle was gradually fading away, leaving a terrible mess inside the room. Zhang Yuochen was at a loss for words. Senior sister apprentice Huang is a real ruffian. Everywhere she goes turns into ruins. It seems that I need a new room now. Suddenly, Zhang Yuochen sensed a murderous feeling and all of the hair on his body stood up at once. Zhang Yuochen lunged forward instinctively and rolled over on the ground. Clash! A green poisonous arrow went through the wall, closely passing Zhang Yuochen's neck, leaving a blood stain on his skin. In just the blink of an eye, the skin around the bloodstain became dark purple. Zhang Yuochen immediately took out a detoxification pill from the time spinel and swallowed it. The murderous sense did not disappear. It was like a viper hiding in the dark, ready to shoot again at any moment. Zhang Yuochen had already practiced the purifying Jade Genuine Qi, which could purify many poisons. But the poison on the green arrow was especially powerful, and he was only able to suppress the poison from spreading with the help of both the detoxification pill and his purifying Jade Genuine Qi. Have the Hades Department assassins come at last? Zhang Yuochen lay on his stomach on the ground, not daring to move. He quietly released the space domain. Under the space domain, Zhang Yuochen detected the auras of the two assassins. One was hiding in the attic, only 7 meters away from him. The other was farther, hiding in the foliage of a huge iron pine tree. If it were not for his space domain, Zhang Yuochen would never have found her. She had to be the one who shot the poisonous arrow. Two assassins, one near, one far. Zhang Yuochen could sense their martial cultivations. They were both in the completion of the Black Realm. Their genuine Qi was so strong that either one of them had the power to kill Zhang Yuochen. What a coincidence that the assassins would come for me when I've just finished practicing in the Divine Power Palace. Does that mean that, apart from Ziqian, there are other Hades Department assassins among the 12 genius students who practice in the Divine Power Palace? Zhang Yuochen thought quickly. The situation was very critical and something had gone badly wrong. I hid in black number 1 so senior sister apprentice Duan Mu could help me deal with the assassins. All of a sudden, Huang Yanjun showed up and lured her away. Then, the assassins appeared. How could there be such a coincidence? Maybe Huang Yanxin is also a Hades Department assassin? Zhang Yuochen held his breath and covered his aura with the power of the space domain. He then had a plan in mind. His greatest advantage now was that he could locate the two assassins without being located himself. In that case, he should kill the closer assassin as fast as he could, then kill the farther one. Yet, they were both in the completion of the Black Realm and were way more powerful than Zhang Yuochen. It was quite difficult for Zhang Yuochen to kill either one of them. So, how could he kill them both? Just then, Zhang Yuochen sensed Blackie in the space domain. Blackie had stolen another 2 books. He tucked them under his forepaws and proudly walked into the room through the front door on his hind paws, not knowing that there were 2 powerful assassins hiding inside room 1 of titled Black. Zhang Yuochen summoned the yin-yang wooden graph from his Qi pool. He held it in his hand and poured his genuine Qi into it to send a message to Blackie. What the hell is Zhang Yuochen doing? Does he plan to seal me into the yin-yang wooden graph again? Blackie felt the sealing power of the yin-yang wooden graph, which was drawing him inside. At this moment, Zhang Yuochen's voice reached Blackie's ears via the yin-yang wooden graph's power. After getting Zhang Yuochen's message, Blackie's ears stuck up. He looked over in the direction indicated by Zhang Yuochen with his round eyes. It's no wonder that they are professional assassins. To their credit, they did a good job of hiding. It's impossible to find them without carefully searching. Now, the show is on. Blackie laughed and skittered into the bushes. With Blackie's help, Zhang Yuochen was much more confident. Weapon of Thunderbolt. Zhang Yuochen's martial soul had the nature of space-time and Thunderbolt at the same time. Activated by his genuine Qi, it gathered all of the spiritual Qi in a 25-meter radius to form a group of sparks. The tiny sparks converged and intertwined, becoming stronger. Slap! A thunderbolt flashed across the space void and struck at the assassin who was hiding 7 meters away from Zhang Yuochen. PFFT. Being caught off guard, the assassin was seriously injured by the thunderbolt. There was smoke all over his body and he coughed out a mouthful of blood.